Morning, everybody. It's Ethan here. And as you can see, I'm at the West Peak Trailhead at the top of Cordova Pass near the town of La Veta in southern Colorado in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And today I am doing the hike to West Spanish Peak. So it's about 7 in the morning right now. Been up here for about a half an hour just getting things ready. Ate some oatmeal, made some oatmeal on my camping stove, and I'm ready for an awesome hike today. So, like I said, this trail will eventually take me up to the summit of West Spanish Peak, which is the easternmost 13er in the United States. It is 13,621 feet. And it looks like, since I'll be entering the Spanish Peaks Wilderness area, I'm going to need to register real quick. So I will do that and get right back to you guys. Alright, well, I just registered there. Just a little sign-in sheet for them to keep track of everyone who comes in and out of here. Like I said, this does enter a wilderness area. It's a very beautiful morning, as you can see. There's some clouds to the west, but I just checked the weather and they're still calling for no rain today on West Spanish Peak, so I should be okay. As you can see, some beautiful little flowers out this morning. It is that time of year. So, unfortunately, like most places in Colorado, this area has a fire ban. This area is even drier than places like on the Front Range. So they have a stage 2 fire ban. And they have signs everywhere, so you can't forget. If you're camping out here, no fires. So this trail is about 8 miles round trip, 2,400 feet of elevation gain, so not too terrible on the elevation gain side of things, but there is basically, it's a pretty gradual ascent up until about the last 1.25 miles, where the trail will get very steep and it will become a difficult class 2 straight up a boulder field. And I believe you go up about 1,500 feet of elevation in 1 mile. So that part's going to be tough for sure. But the rest of the trail shouldn't be so bad. Alright, so about 1/3 of a mile in, not too far in, you reach the wilderness boundary. So I'm now in the Spanish Peaks Wilderness. At about 11,300 feet. So far the trail has been pretty flat. But it's definitely not going to stay like that for long. Alright, there's our destination right there. So, there are some clouds up there, but that doesn't look too bad. Hopefully that'll kind of blow through pretty quickly. You know, I really did keep a close eye on the weather report. Just checked it and it said, you know, no rain. Not supposed to rain out here today. No rain, no thunderstorms, nothing like that. There are a lot of clouds in the area though, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully they just kind of blow through or peter out or whatever, but you never know. But man, what beautiful views from out here, huh? Little viewpoint here on the trail. I have to check my direction, but I think that might be the San Luis Valley down there. But once again, I'd have to check just to make sure. That might not be quite to the valley yet. I think it might be over those mountains. Or I could be facing the entirely wrong direction. Honestly, I have to check my compass to make sure. So once again, still haven't really gone up much at all. Maybe like a couple 100 feet. And honestly, that's not super great now, because see, now I'm going downhill. Starting to go downhill, so man, that this last half of the trail is gonna be, it's gonna suck. I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful, but it's gonna be a rough climb. I can already tell. So the trail finally started going up. Getting some great views here. A lot of the views are obstructed by those clouds, but that's okay. But looks like I'm starting to get close to tree line. The trail's just kind of doing some switchbacks right now. And so far, I mean, it's going uphill now for probably the last third of a mile, something like that. And it's still been, I mean, it's uphill, but it's still been pretty easy. But like I said, that's about to change. I think at about 12,000, once I hit about 12,000 feet is when the trail's gonna get really nasty. But look at those views. Really beautiful morning. First view of West Spanish Peak in a little while, and it looks like the clouds are clearing off the summit. So that's good. The bad news is that that's gonna be a steep climb. So far, this trail has only gone up about 600 feet. So the more I hike, the more I'm realizing just how difficult that last section of the trail is going to be. All right, so I'm breaking tree line right now. Getting some great views to the north and to the west. Looks like there's a little ski area over there. Didn't know there were any out here, but that one is pretty small. But anyway, the trail cuts off this way, so I'm guessing it does a couple more switchbacks. But you can see the route to the summit. That is pretty close to the summit. That might not be the actual summit, but that's pretty close. But that's the route. Just straight up that scree slope. And I can actually see, I'll try to zoom in. I don't know if you can see them, but there are a couple of hikers up there. So that's the way up. Still got a lot of elevation to climb. Getting pretty close to where the easy part ends and the hard part begins. Really cool views. And here is the big rock cairn that I had been told about, where it's about to get really steep. Hopefully I can make it up there. I think I can do it. All right, guys. So you can see the last place I had my video going, all the way down there at the trees. So definitely in the hard part now. Very steep. But I'm getting there. I don't like the look of those clouds, but hopefully they'll pass over. Some sunflowers up here. There's the way up. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Alright, so I told myself when I was way down there, kind of where that other guy is, that if I could just make it up to this big ass pile of rocks here, I'd be okay. And damn it, I made it. This has been a rough climb. Difficult class 2 for sure. Very steep, lots of loose rock. Some sections are borderline class 3, but it doesn't quite get to that point. At least not yet. But man, what a hike this has been. Beautiful, but a very challenging climb. But man, am I glad to be up here. I'm at 13,300 feet right now. And I'll turn around so you can see the summit is right there. The summit ridge is right over that. And then once I get up there, I just cut to the left and get up to the summit. I'm almost there, guys. All right, guys. I made it to the summit ridge. Down there is the town of Levita. You can see all those cool rock formations going through there. Those are just cracks in the earth. Very cool to drive by. Really cool to see from up here. And out in that direction is the town of Walsenburg. And all of that you see is the Eastern Plains. So that's all just completely flat out there. And there's the summit right there. I made it through the hard part, and it is pretty cloudy. It looks like it's still okay to summit, but I'm probably not going to spend too much time out there because this weather definitely could turn at any minute. But I'm so close. I'm gonna get to the summit, and then probably just not spend too much time up there. All right, welcome to the summit of West Spanish Peak, 13,621 feet, the easternmost 13er in the United States, and a beautiful summit to be on. It's a pretty cloudy day, so a lot of the views are obstructed. Normally you'd be able to see the Crestones and Blanca and Ellingwood and all those 14ers up there further north in the Sangres. And also, if you look over here, all that's part of the Culebra range. You can see Culebra Peak is peeking out from the clouds over there. That is the southernmost 14er in the country. And that is on private land, so if you want to hike that, there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through to be able to do that. But wow, what a beautiful summit this is. Despite how cloudy it is, the weather's been holding out nicely, and I think it's going to stay like that. If you look over there, that's East Spanish Peak. That is about 1,000 feet lower than West Spanish Peak. And I know this is kind of a weird looking summit, but this, where I'm standing, is the tallest point. This is the summit. Don't get me wrong, it was a tough hike to get up here for sure. It was definitely one of the tougher 13er or 14ers I've done. The first 2 miles were deceivingly easy, but that 1 mile stretch just really put it in a class of its own. But man, it was worth it, completely worth it. You can see some hikers walking down the saddle there. One coming up, the guy I passed a while ago, he looks like he's, I didn't see him for a while, so I was wondering if he turned around, but it looks like he's going to summit today too. So that's awesome. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna enjoy these views for a minute, have a little snack, and probably not spend too much time up here because it is kind of chilly. But man, look at those views out to the east. Just those expansive, dry plains. And of course, right there, the town of Levita, and then over there, the town of Walsenburg. Incredible. Alright guys, well, things have cleared up over here. The clouds have moved on from this particular area. It's still generally pretty cloudy. You can see out to the west over there where Blanca, Ellingwood, Little Bear, all that is over in that direction, covered by the clouds. The Crestones, I believe, are further up there. Getting a good view of the Culebra Range now. There is some cloud cover, but it's not really covering the actual peaks. And I believe Culebra is that one down there. And of course, getting some stunning views of all the plains. This is a rare view from a 13er. Normally when you hike up to a 13er, you're just surrounded by other mountains, but the Spanish Peaks are just so isolated from the rest of the Sangre de Cristo range that it's just a whole different kind of summit view. Really beautiful. Of course, once again, there's East Spanish Peak over there. And if I'm not mistaken, this is south. You can see all the way to New Mexico. New Mexico's down there. And so the Sangre de Cristo range kind of continues that way. So you can't see it from here. Too much cloud cover, and I don't know if you'd be able to see it from here even if it was a clear day. But way down there, there's Wheeler Peak, a 13er in New Mexico. It's the state high point of New Mexico, and I actually climbed that last summer, where I met Dr. Brandon Four from the 4 Year Success channel. And that was a lot of fun, and I did a YouTube video of it, but then my phone messed up and corrupted the file, so that was a bummer. I remember that. I was really bummed out about that. But anyway, so that other guy who was a little bit behind me, he just left the summit. He's starting to head down the saddle there. And it's time for me to start heading down too. It's 11:30, and it doesn't look like there's any imminent danger of thunderstorms, but those clouds out to the west will eventually get over here, and I'd like to be below tree line when that happens. So, I mean, damn, this is a beautiful summit. It was a tough hike to get up here, but I am so glad that I did this. What an awesome experience this was. Anyway, guys, I'll get back to you in a little bit. Alright, so I'm about to get off the saddle. There's the summit back up there. And last views that I'll get to the north for a while. Actually, for the rest of the hike. And now I got to do the tough part again, this time going down, which presents a whole new set of difficulties. Lots of scree, so I'll try my best not to slip and fall, but it may happen once or twice. It's just part of the deal. Looking back up at where I just came from, That's straight. Crazy steep trail. I need to get back down there to the trees. Some more people going up, and it is just straight up. It's crazy. This is one hell of a scree slope, for sure. The steepness alone makes this difficult enough, but all this loose rock really adds to it, going up or down. And as you can see, my route down is just very steep. But I'd say I'm a little more than halfway down this section, and then after that it'll be smooth sailing. Well, look at all these beautiful wildflowers. All here to greet me as I'm coming off the scree slope. Finally. Wow, what an intense climb. Ascent and descent. That was pretty crazy. And I still got a tiny bit more to go, but it gets a lot less rocky from here. I start to see some grass and stuff like that. It's still rocky, but it's not as bad. It's not just straight up like nothing but loose rock. And as you can see, I'm getting pretty close to getting back down into the trees. And the views are still amazing. Alright, I'm starting to head back down into the trees now. Take one last look, ladies and gentlemen. I just did that. That was intense. It really was. But God, it was worth it. So beautiful up there. But as you can see, I'm back down at the tree line. And so it's about just a few switchbacks, not a few miles of switchbacks, a few switchbacks, and then pretty much flat the rest of the way. And no more scree slope. So I should be able to pick up the pace a little bit. First view I got of West Spanish Peak on the way up. And I'm happy to announce that I'm back down to the flat section of trail now. So, should be all really smooth sailing from here to the trailhead. Man, what a beautiful area this is. Probably the last view I'm going to get on the trail. Crazy that I was just up on top of that. Almost back to the trailhead. Alright, everybody. 6.5 hours later, and I'm back at Cordova Pass. Man. What an insane hike. So awesome, so much fun. But man, it was intense. It's really good to be able to say that I did that though. West Spanish Peak is awesome. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners just getting into doing some higher elevation hikes. It's definitely for at least someone who's slightly experienced, but man, is it awesome. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. It's much appreciated when you do that. And of course, as always, I'm going to have more videos coming up soon, so I'll see you guys soon for my next adventure.